On CNN Sports this night, another close shave in the National League playoffs, where they're all even again.
Looks like an even series to me, and right now it's even. It goes to 3 out of 5 instead of 4 out of 7.
Meanwhile, the Red Sox and A's spend another day priming for battle.
I definitely think we have a dynasty here.
And Sam Wyche may be looking for a second job after what he got fined today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. It is Friday night, and I'm Fred Hickman.
And I'm Nick Charles, and Fred, it took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to wrench out another one-run thriller today in the National League playoffs, and I have thoroughly enjoyed this series.
Oh, it's been fun, and the real fun's yet to come. But I'll tell you what, it really doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that today's baseball game was one that the Cincinnati Reds simply had to have in the worst of ways. I mean, they dropped the opener in the National League Flag Series to the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the last thing the Reds needed was to head to Three River Stadium for the next 3 down to love. The Reds also knew not to expect to run up the score facing a 22-game winner today, and here he is, Doug Drabek. The Reds didn't get much of him, just enough. Paul O'Neill's little popper finds Green and brings Barry Larkin home with the first run of the ball game. 7 Reds hit in the frame, but damage control kept the ship afloat. It stayed 1-0 Cincy until the 5th when Pittsburgh's Jose leaned even matters. Jose hulked out and went deep with a rare Tom Browning boo-boo. A 1-1 game, the result of the light-hitting Lean's big fly. Only had 1 homer in the regular season. The Reds recover in their half. O'Neill again. The drive. Too tall for Barry Bonds. Whittingham's able to cross with the go-ahead run. O'Neill with a heavy defensive contribution as well. More on that in a moment. But look at Barry Larkin play defense out there. Robbing Reynolds, guns his man down. Case closed. Gets the distance, Drabek does, but absorbs the loss. Dibble and Myers came on to get Browning, who spread out 6 hits to get the victory. What a game. Good pitching, timely hitting, an awful lot of solid defense. The latter being the key as Pittsburgh was taken out of several nice scoring opportunities. CNN's Tom Kirkland was at the yard and has this post-game retrospective.
The Pirates put their best arm forward, but the Reds still found a way to beat a great Doug Drabek.
We came out against a pitcher that will win the Cy Young Award in this league and scored 2 runs off of him, and our guys did the rest defensively and pitching-wise to hold the lead.
All season, the Reds ruled with the league's best defense, and it was the matinee feature on Friday. A second-inning Pittsburgh threat was dusted by the nifty pickoff. Tom Browning to Barry Larkin, Jeff King caught.
I thought I got my hand in there, but it's just how it is. I mean, not just in this series, I mean, just all year. Normally when the ball beats you, they're going to call you out most of the time.
But Game 2 really belonged to Reds right fielder Paul O'Neill. Drove home both runs and gunned down another Pirate uprising in the 6th. Andy Van Slyke slain at 3rd to complete a double play.
I decided that he was going to have to make a perfect throw, and that's exactly what happened. Gene told me to get down. I said, uh-oh. And then I heard the ball whiz by my ear, and I said, uh-oh, again. And then when Jerry rung me up, I said, uh-oh, again. So 3 uh-ohs and 2 outs is not a very good situation.
You play the game, and there might be a couple opportunities where you can really help the team, where you get up with men on base, or you can make a play in the field, and you hope these things happen, and you hope you can come through. That's part of baseball, but they don't always work that way, so you really got to enjoy these times, and I'm as happy as I can be right now.
That feeling firmed up by nasty relief pitching and some 9th-inning robbery by Barry Larkin. This is why they call him the glue.
Dibble came in, did a tremendous job again. Randy Myers did a tremendous job. We've been playing defense well all year, and it really helped out today.
It's 1-1, and we have to worry about now. It's a 5-game series, and just going in there and focusing on what we have to do. You never look back.
After taking the whole weekend off, the series resumes east on the Ohio River. They'll play the next 3 games at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, but from all indications, we'll probably have to come back here before it's decided. From the National League Championship Series in Cincinnati, Tom Kirkland, CNN Sports.
You know what, and I'll bet you the Bucks are anxious to get away from Riverfront Stadium. They had an afternoon start in October. Everybody was saying any ball hit to left field was going to be problems. And Barry Bonds, well, there was nothing he could do with it. Looked up, all he saw was sun.
I really like this series, Fred. I like the fact that both teams are so aggressive, and I know they've run themselves out of innings a couple of times on the base paths, but why get cautious? Why start to choke and get clammy and all that stuff just because you're in the playoffs? They're doing what brought them here, and I like that.
Well, it seems as though Barry Bonds might be squeezing the bat a little bit hard. 1 for 7 right now. He's in the middle of the order.
Could be. Yeah, he never hit well this year against the Reds, so hard to say. That's why they play 7.
Well, we'll see what happens Monday.
All right, it's best of 5 now. Anyway, a lot of people are all ready to concede the whole postseason anyway to Oakland. The Athletics are the unmistakable favorites to win it all again. Some say the A's are even stronger now. But are the Red Sox only victims? So much litter in the way of a steamroller? We'll know soon enough. The series starts tomorrow night in Boston, and that's where CNN's Hannah Storm is with a playoff preview.
Loose and confident. The Oakland A's are overwhelming favorites in their third straight trip to the playoffs. A true test for the scrappy bunch from Beantown. The Red Sox were swept by Oakland in '88, and they lost 2/3 of their games to the A's this year.
We have a great ball club. You know, they have a speed, they have power, they have everything, they have pitching, everything. This need that, but they are human beings.
But with seemingly superhuman speed, Ricky Henderson alone has 12 more steals than the entire Boston team.
We got a great catch out of him, you know, so he's going to try to slow us down, but, you know, we get on enough and wear him down so like we probably can take it to him.
And sock it to him. While Boston ranked 12th in the league in home runs, the A's were 3rd. And only a powerful player would have the guts to sport a hot pink bat. Canseco just as bold with his words.
I definitely think we have a dynasty here. And to me, I'll be honest, and this might be the best team in baseball that there has ever been assembled.
Best of all time versus a team that hasn't won a World Series in a long time. Hanging in Fenway, the numbers of Boston's best. They also mark a date, September 4th, 1918, the eve of their last winning World Series. As long as we're talking history, and they love to talk history here in Boston, remember back to 1975. That was when Oakland had won back-to-back-to-back World Championships, and then Boston swept them in the playoffs.
Some people think we're the favorites, but we don't pay attention to that. I think it's a competition where there's no guarantees, but we just want to go ahead and take our best shot.
And Boston comes charging in.
I don't think that we're going to have to get fired up for the game tomorrow night because, you know, we've been in intense situations for the last 2 weeks. And we'll say it's just a playoff atmosphere the past 2 weeks, and we're just going to play it on over. No doubt about it. They're a tremendous ball club, and they are the favorite to win. And if we win, it just makes it that much sweeter for us. If they lose, it makes it that much tougher for them.
That's the beauty of a fall day at Fenway. Things could swing either way. In Boston, I'm Hannah Storm, CNN Sports.
And they open the ball with a bang Saturday night. Roger Clemens against Dave Stewart. For Boston to win, a lot of people think the Rocket Man will have to win 3 games. Most feel Clemens has to win tomorrow night. And in keeping with his pregame routine today, he didn't talk to the media. And Stewart, who's owned the Red Sox this year, had his pressure hardened to the rigors of any postseason spotlight, figures all he has to do is to be himself.
Bottom line is, if I come out and I don't pitch well against the Boston Red Sox, then we're not going to have a chance to win a ball game. So what I'm going to do is just try to come out and execute against their hitters and make sure that we have a chance to win.
Well, Stewart is 6-0 lifetime against Clemens. Also, the A's have a 27-game winner, Bob Welch, cocked and loaded to go in Game 2. Wow. It really puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the Red Sox. They have to win tomorrow night.
No question about it. And you know where the Red Sox are really hurting is in their bullpen. Middle relief. You know, Oakland's just loaded. They've got everything. They got the 2 guys to set up. Eckersley from either side of the plate. They've got Honeycutt out there. They got Nelson out there. I don't know how they're going to win, but I'm hoping it's going to be a good series.
Well, I just think Clemens, I think it's all on the pitching rotation. I think Moore's had a less than sensational year. Same with Sanderson. I think both those guys are beatable, but they've got to have their gun. The Rocket Man's got to come through for them because there's a huge fall off after that. Well, it just puts a terrible burden, I think. But I'm sure Clemens loves the pressure.
Well, playing those guys has got to be a burden anytime. Of course, our reporter Hannah Storm and our analyst Hal Bodley will be on the scene in Boston. Point of origin for CNN's Baseball 90, Sunday at 6 Eastern Time.
Okay, big baseball weekend. Actually, the National League rests all weekend. They'll get going yet on Monday. But coming up, NFL news. Sam Wyche could have bought robes for everybody in the league and got off cheaper than what it's going to cost him now. The Bengals coach may have to take out an installment loan or get a second job. We'll explain next. Stay with us.
Sometimes the price of one's standing by one's convictions can run awfully high. And such is the case with Cincinnati Bengals head coach Sam Wyche, who today was fined an estimated $30,000 by NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue. The sanction is the result of Coach Wyche's barring a woman reporter from his post-game locker room in Seattle Monday night.
The commissioner feels like it's more important to fine me than to try to see if there's another solution. It bothers me that when I, honest to goodness, tried to do something that I thought was right. I mean, I thought I was really trying to ensure that a situation that had gotten out of hand in one city, New England, didn't happen in ours. We didn't abuse the spirit of this rule at all. In fact, we enhanced the expediency of it.
Well, the fine is the largest of its kind and is actually 1/17 of Wyche's annual salary, which is believed to be $500,000 this year, and it is unappealable. Wyche's Plan B proposal, as it's so-called, which would have had the room open for 20 minutes right after the game and then closed while the players showered, was rejected by the commissioner. So the bottom line is Wyche will pay. The Bengals locker room in Anaheim for the Rams game Sunday will be open, and the team has indicated it will take up the issue with the league after the season's completed.
This is CNN Headline News.
This is Ron Hyde, CNN Headline Sports. Cincinnati avoided going to Pittsburgh down 2-0 by winning Game 2 of the NLCS Friday afternoon in Riverfront, 2-1. As Tom Browning outdueled 22-game winner Doug Drabeck. And it was purely a case of Paul O'Neill, offensively and defensively. O'Neill's RBI double in the 6th inning brought home the go-ahead run. And in the top half of the inning, O'Neill contributed a stellar defensive gem, gunning down Andy Van Slyke at third base for a double play, halting the Bucs rally. The series is tied at 1 game apiece. Game 3, Monday at Three Rivers.
You hope these things happen and you hope you can come through. That's part of baseball, but they don't always work that way, so you really got to enjoy these times. And, I'm as happy as I can be right now winning this game.